I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived. I wanted to live deep and suck out all the marrow of life, to live so sturdily and Spartan-like as to reduce it to its lowest terms, and, if it proved to be mean, to get the whole and genuine meanness of it, or if it were sublime, to know it by experience, and to give a true account of it. When I wrote the following pages, or rather the bulk of them, I lived alone in the woods, a mile from any neighbor, in a house which I had built myself, on the shore of Walden Pond in Concord, Massachusetts, and earned my living by the labor of my hands only. When I first took up my abode in the woods, my house was not finished. It was a pleasant hillside where I worked, covered with pine woods, through which I looked out on the pond, and a small open field in the woods where pines and hickories were springing up.
July 4th, 1845. Dearest Henry, congratulations on the start of your experiment. I hope that the work goes well and the ideas are fruitful. Mr. Emerson says you are intent to devour yourself in our woods, but I hope that you will remember to take good care and keep yourself well. Mother worries, as do I. Your loving sister, Sophia.
Interesting.
I know I saw another rabbit.
July, 1845. Dear Mr. Thoreau, my employer, Dr. Agassiz, was happy to meet you last month with Mr. Emerson, and was quite impressed with your knowledge of local biology. He wonders if you might be able to provide some specimens for him to use in his work. Dr. Agassiz would gladly come to Concord to collect such specimens himself, but is drawn away by numerous and pressing engagements. If you are amenable to this idea, we will soon send you requests for these items and are happy to pay you for your trouble. Sincerely, James Elliott Cabot, Assistant to Dr. Agassiz, Harvard University.
There is some of the same fitness in a man's building his own house that there is in a bird's building its own nest. Who knows but if men constructed their dwellings with their own hands and provided food for themselves and families simply and honestly enough, the poetic faculty would be universally developed, as birds universally sing when they are so engaged.
I'm trying to remember these buttons.
What are you doing now? Emerson asked. Do you keep a journal? So I make my first entry today.
July 1845. My dear Henry, Mr. Emerson has assisted my family in acquiring a house near Concord, and there we are now, writing, living like philosophers, which is to say, with little but happily. I will visit you soon and bring Mr. Garrison of the Liberator. We have all been so inspired by his earnest and unequivocal writings regarding the moral stain of slavery on our nation. Perhaps he will speak at our Lyceum on the topic. Yours truly, A. Bronson Alcott.
My house was on the side of a hill, immediately on the edge of the larger wood, in the midst of a young forest of pitch pines and hickories, and 6 rods from the pond, to which a narrow footpath led down the hill. In my front yard grew the strawberry, blackberry, and life everlasting, John's wort and goldenrod, shrub oaks and sand cherry, blueberry and groundnut. Regularly at 7:30, in one part of the summer, after the evening train had gone by, the whippoorwills chanted their vespers for half an hour, sitting on a stump by my door, or upon the ridge pole of the house. The grand necessity, then, for our bodies is to keep warm, to keep the vital heat in us. Huh. When I was 4 years old, as I well remember, I was brought from Boston to this my native town, through these very woods in this field, to the pond. It is one of the oldest scenes stamped on my memory, and now tonight my flute has waked the echoes over that very water. Many men walk by day, few walk by night. It is a very different season. Chancing to take a memorable walk by moonlight some years ago, I resolved to take more such walks and make acquaintance with another side of nature. My residence was more favorable not only to thought, but to serious reading than a university. And though I was beyond the range of the ordinary circulating library, I had more than ever come within the influence of those books which circulate round the world. The necessaries of life for man in this climate may, accurately enough, be distributed under the several heads of food, shelter, clothing, and fuel. For not till we have secured these are we prepared to entertain the true problems of life with freedom and a prospect of success.
July 1845. Dear Henry, you've told me yourself that it is difficult to begin anything without borrowing, and I know that you can use an axe, so I've left one for you in my front yard by the chopping stump. Do come by any time to fetch it. Perhaps we can discuss the new lecture I am working on while you are here.
Your friend, Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Why didn't you just bring the axe here? Like, seriously. So I head north.
Interesting. Wishing to earn $10 or $12 by some honest and agreeable method, in order to meet my unusual expenses, I planted about 2 acres and a half of light and sandy soil, chiefly with beans. Interesting. Every day or two I stroll to the village to hear some of the gossip which is incessantly going on there, circulating either from mouth to mouth or from newspaper to newspaper, and which, taken in homeopathic doses, was really as refreshing in its way as the rustle of leaves and the peeping of frogs. Men have become the tools of their tools. The man who independently plucked the fruits when he was hungry has become a farmer, and he who stood under a tree for shelter, a housekeeper. We now no longer camp as for a night, but have settled down on earth and forgotten heaven.
It's very good to make your acquaintance, Mr. Thoreau. Your sister seems to believe our thoughts and philosophies are very much aligned. It is good to find a youth so interested in the finer fruits of thought.
You gonna be a thief?
Dear Miss Fuller, it was a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for the introductions to such brilliant new company. I am sure that writers such as these will fill our new journal with rays of golden talent. I have another name to add to the roster of our dial, Mr. Henry David Thoreau, a fine, brave youth of this town from whom I expect great things. I will send you some of his work soon. My son, young Waldo, is very well, and wife Lydian sends her love. R.W. Emerson. Recommendation for Henry David Thoreau. I cordially recommend Mr. Henry D. Thoreau, a graduate of Harvard University in August 1837, to the confidence of such parents or guardians as may propose to employ him as an instructor. I have the highest confidence in Mr. Thoreau's moral character and in his intellectual ability. He is Henry, how goes your new experiment? Has genius struck yet at my woodlot?
No genius yet, only some summer hares.
Well, I'm sure your muse will find you soon. Time in the woods has always given you inspiration. Since you're here, I could use your assistance with some research I'm doing for a new lecture.
Certainly.
Well, thank you. I know you're quite busy with your own work, but I need help finding my copy of Homer's Iliad. I saw that you were reading it down by your new cabin. Do you still have it there?
Yes, I have seen it and can get it for you.
Oh, that's wonderful. When you come back, we can discuss the passage I'm looking for. In the meanwhile, I found some books on bean planting and local...
I look forward to it. Goodbye.
There you are, Henry. Haven't you found...
I haven't found it yet, but I'll keep looking.
Ah, hello.
Good afternoon. interesting.
Ah, hello.
Hello.
Ah, you found...
Yes, I've read it.
Well, that's good. I'd hoped you would, and that it would give you inspiration. Your experiment reminds me of the image of heroic life that Homer gives us. I wonder, can we all make our lives heroic in our quality of living, if not on the field?
I haven't seen it, but I can look for it.
Wonderful. Let me mark the very spot. I think I left it on your map, so
That shouldn't be difficult to find. I'll see you again soon.
There we go.
Interesting.
Ooh, blueberries. Oh, piper grass, whatever that means.
Confucius said, "To know that we know what we know, and that we do not know what we do not know, that is true knowledge." Interesting. I am no more lonely than the loon in the pond that laughs so loud, or than Walden Pond itself. I am no more lonely than a single mullein or dandelion in a pasture, or a bean leaf, or a sorrel, or a horsefly, or a bumblebee. I am no more lonely than the millbrook, or a weathercock, or the North Star, or the south wind, or an April shower, or a January thaw, or the first spider in a new house.
Yay!
What is a course of history or philosophy or poetry, no matter how well selected, or the best society, or the most admirable routine of life, compared with the discipline of looking always at what is to be seen?
pretty tedious. Don't. Like, I hear it, but I don't see it. That little kid again. I'll just keep taking his toys.
Good afternoon.
Gonna leave him
Good
around
afternoon.
everywhere.
Ah, you found...
Yes, I've read it.
Well, that's good. I'd hoped you would, and that it would give you inspiration. Your experiment reminds me quite a bit of what Confucius says about needing only coarse rice for food, water to drink, and the bended arm for a pillow to achieve happiness. Since we're discussing these ethical scriptures, I've also been looking all over for my laws of Manu. I was reading it the other day over by...
Yes, I have seen it and can get it for you.
Oh, that's wonderful. When you come back, we can discuss...
I look forward.
There you are, Henry. Have it...
I haven't found it yet, but I'll keep looking.
Crap. I chose the wrong one.
As I walked in the woods to see the birds and squirrels, so I walked to the village to see the men and boys. Instead of the wind among the pines, I heard the carts rattle. In one direction from my house, there was a colony of muskrats in the river meadows. Under the grove of elms and buttonwoods in the other horizon was a village of busy men, as curious to me as if they had been prairie dogs.
July 1838. Dear Messieurs Thoreau, my sister, whom you know, has sent me a copy of the Yeoman's Gazette with your advertisement for a new Concord Academy and suggested I contact you regarding the education of my son, Edmund Sewell. Edmund is a bright pupil and is in need of instruction preparatory to a collegiate course with the usual English branches of study. I will send him with my daughter Ellen as chaperone to meet you at your earliest convenience. Sincerely, Reverend Edmund Quincy Sewell.
Interesting.
Yep, mine now. What is this? Let's take my laundry. Get the hell out of here.
Society is commonly too cheap. We meet at the post office and at the sociable and about the fireside every night. We live thick and are in each other's way and stumble over one another. and I think that we thus lose some respect for one another.
Good to see you, Henry.
The cost
Good
of a
evening.
thing is the amount of what I will call life, which is required to be exchanged for it, immediately or in the long run. Most of the luxuries and many of the so-called comforts of life are not only not indispensable, but positive hindrances to the elevation of mankind.
What can I do for you?
I had $2 in my wallet. I did not want that pencil. No. Okay. Okay. Let me out. Good lord.
Interesting. For my part, I could easily do without the post office. I think that there are very few important communications made through it.
Ah, Henry Thoreau, is it then? I hear you finally got your little cabin built out there by the pond. Now, why would a man want to spend all his time alone, I ask you? Give me a good warm house and a hot dinner is what I say.
For a long time, I was a reporter to a journal, of no very wide circulation, whose editor has never yet seen fit to print the bulk of my contributions, and, as is too common...
My dear Thoreau, believe me when I say that I have tried to do you the favor of getting your article into the hands of publishers, but I have not had success in this errand, and have hardly a hope that it will be immediate, if ever. I know you have written a good thing, too good, I fear, to be profitable to yourself or attractive to publishers. I will remain your champion in these matters, however, and entreat you to send me that one piece you were working on when we met at your family home. Remember me to...
Dear Mr. Thoreau, Dr. Agassiz was quite satisfied with the specimens you sent last month. He says to tell you that the small mud turtle was actually a very rare species quite distinct from the snapping turtle as you labeled it. We would be very much obliged if you could supply us with samples of the following fishes from your small pond and can pay 75 cents apiece. 5 common shiners, 3 yellow perch, 1 walleye. Sincerely, James Elliott Cabot, assistant to Dr. Agassiz, Harvard University.
I had more visitors while I lived in the woods than at any other period in my life. I mean that I had some. I had withdrawn so far within the great ocean of solitude, into which the rivers of society empty, that for the most part, so far as my needs were concerned, only the finest sediment was deposited around me.
There you are, Henry. Haven't you found my laws of Manu yet? Perhaps you're too busy working for others to help me. I saw that there's a need for good wood choppers along the Concord Road.
I haven't found it yet, but I'll keep looking. Here in the woods, I live in each season as it passes, breathe the air, drink the drink, taste the fruit, and resign myself to the influence of the earth. I watch the passage of the morning cars with the same feeling that I do the rising of the sun, which is hardly more regular. Their train of clouds stretching far behind and rising higher and higher, going to heaven while the cars are going to Boston. Interesting. I have actually fished from the same kind of necessity that the first fishers did. Whatever humanity I might conjure up against it was all factitious, and I concerned my philosophy more than my feelings. I speak of fishing only now, for I had long felt differently about fowling, and sold my gun before I went to the woods. When the surface is considerably agitated, there are no skaters nor water bugs on it, but apparently, in calm days, they leave their havens and adventurously glide forth from the shore by short impulses till they completely cover it.
Ah, hello.
Hello.
There you are, Henry.
I haven't found it yet, but I'll keep looking. Now that the cars are gone by and all the restless world with them, and the fishes in the pond no longer feel their rumbling, I am more alone than ever.
Yay, strawberries. I can just feel that bug flying around my head, driving me nuts.
When I was looking about to see what I could do for a living, I thought often and seriously of picking huckleberries. That surely I could do, and its small profits might suffice, for my greatest skill has been to want but little. Huh. About 15 years ago, you could see the top of a pitch pine, of the kind called yellow pine, projecting above the surface in deep water, many rods from the shore. It was even supposed by some that the pond had sunk, and this was one of the primitive forests that formerly stood there. I have sometimes disturbed a fishhawk sitting on a white pine over the water, but I doubt if it is ever profaned by the wind of a gull, like Fairhaven.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Excuse me. My dude's gonna fall asleep.
In an hour or two without labor, but as a recreation I could, if I wished, catch as many fish as I should want for 2 days, or earn enough money to support me a week. Time is but the stream I go a-fishing in. I drink at it, but while I drink I see the sandy bottom and detect how shallow it is. Its thin current slides away, but eternity remains. I would drink deeper, fish in the sky, whose bottom is pebbly with stars. I cannot count one.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near my house yet, though.
One day, I came upon the moldering wreck of a boat, the sides gone, and hardly more than the impression of its flat bottom left amid the rushes. Yet its model was sharply defined, as if it were a large decayed pad with its veins. It was as impressive a wreck as one could imagine on the seashore, and had as good a moral. The blue flag grows thinly in the pure water, rising from the stony bottom all around the shore, where it is visited by hummingbirds in June. And the color both of its bluish blades and its flowers, and especially their reflections, is in singular harmony with the glaucous water. There have been caught in Walden pickerel, perch, and pouts, some of each weighing over 2 pounds, shiners, chivens, or roach, a very few breams, and a couple of eel. Its pickerel, though not abundant, are its chief boast. Most men, even in this comparatively free country, through mere ignorance and mistake, are so occupied with the factitious cares and superfluously coarse labors of life that its finer fruits cannot be plucked by them.
Ah, hello.
Hello.
There you are, Henry. Haven't you found my laws of Manu yet?
No, I don't
Perhaps
know
you're
where
too
the heck it
busy
is.
working for others to help me. I saw that there's a need for good wood choppers along the Concord Road.
I haven't found it yet, but I'll keep looking. A written word is the choicest of relics. It is something at once more intimate with us and more universal than any other work of art.
Ah, you found my laws of Manu. Good for you, Henry.
Yes, I've read it.
Well, that's good. I'd hoped you would, and that it would give you inspiration. I wonder if this text, one of the 4 works of supreme authority for the Hindus, doesn't speak directly to your own experiment. As Manu says, resignation of all pleasures is far better than the attainment of them. It's so vital for us to read the wisdom of all the ancient philosophers. Oh, speaking of which, I'm also looking for my Plato. I was reading it the other day down on the northwest shore of the pond. Have you seen it there by any chance?
I haven't seen it, but I can look for it.
Wonderful.
That shouldn't be difficult to find. I'll see you again soon.
Oh, of course it is all the way over there.
August, 1845. Dear Henry, don't forget that we care for you and miss you at home. Should you visit, I have left a surprise for you on the game table, as I know you love a good challenge. Stay safe and healthy. Your sister, Sophia.
Be ready, friend Henry. Tomorrow I will require your assistance with an errand of utmost consequence. Look for my instructions here at your cabin tomorrow morning, and be ready to put your expert knowledge of our woods to work for the cause of freedom. I hope you will not fail me. Most sincerely, A. Bronson Alcott.
When I return to my house, I find that visitors have been there and left their cards. Either a bunch of flowers, or a wreath of evergreen, or a name in pencil on a yellow walnut leaf, or a chip.
August 1838. Dear Sophia, it was so kind of your family to welcome us, and I hope we will see you all again soon. Edmund looks forward to starting his studies with your brothers, and I'm sure we will all see much more of each other. The poems Henry sent came safely.
Dear Ellen, Sophia tells me you enjoyed the poems I sent, so here are some more brief lines for you with my best wishes. Nature never makes...
Dear Henry, I have set a little game for you based on our own favorite board, the woods. Here is the first piece of the puzzle. I rise above the forest floor, where once I lay in days of yore. A gentle hand has made formation in places hidden, though not forbidden. Come find me if you seek inspiration. Bonne chance, Sophia.
Let me in.
Hello then, Henry. Here for your mail or just snooping for news? I hear there will be a rally soon about these slavery questions. That abolitionist from Boston, Mr. Garrison, will be speaking, but I don't know much about such things.